Don't touch me. Lily's voice cracked as Victor Romano's hand closed around her wrist in the middle of the plaza ballroom. 200 guests turned to stare. Please, everyone's watching. Let them watch. His grip tightened, not painful, but inescapable. You think I care what these vultures think? I'm nobody. Say it. His eyes burned into hers. Say what you've heard about me. Dangerous. And you're still here. Something dark flickered across his face. Why? Because 30 seconds ago, she'd overheard her own cousin telling someone that Lily Bennett was the family embarrassment. Because she was tired of being invisible. Because when Victor looked at her, she felt seen for the first time in her 28 years. Before we continue, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Watch until the end to see how far this impossible love goes and comment your city so I can see where Lily and Victor's story reaches across the world. I asked you a question. Victor's voice cut through Lily's thoughts. Why are you still here? I don't know, Dino. The truth escaped before Lily could stop it. Wrong answer. He released her wrist. Try again. The ballroom had gone quiet. Sarah's face across the room had drained of color. Bradley stood frozen mid-conversation, his mouth hanging open. I'm here because I have nowhere else to go, Lily whispered. Better. Victor's expression softened microscopically. At least you're honest. Is that what you want, honesty? From you, yes. Why me? The question burst out. You could have anyone in this room. Why are you talking to the girl who just dumped champagne on your shoes? Victor looked down at his ruined Testoni Oxfords. You really want to know? Yes. Because everyone else in this room wants something from me. Money, connections, protection. His eyes locked onto hers. You're the only one who looks at me like I'm the last person you want to be near. It's refreshing. I should go. You said that already, 15 minutes ago, in fact. Yet here you are. Lily's face burned. You're insufferable. I'm honest, there's a difference. Victor gestured to the crowd that was pretending not to watch them. These people, they'll smile to your face and destroy you the second you turn your back. At least I tell you exactly what I am. And what are you on dangerous? You said so yourself. Before Lily could respond, Sarah appeared at her elbow, her smile plastic and terrifying. Lily, there you are. I've been looking everywhere. Sarah's fingers dug into Lily's arm like talons. I'm so sorry, Mr. Romano. My cousin isn't feeling well. Too much champagne, I think. I'm fine, Lily said. You're not fine. You're making a scene. Sarah's whisper was venomous. Excuse us. No. Sarah's perfectly plucked eyebrows shot up. What did you say? I said no. Lily pulled her arm free. I'm 28 years old, Sarah. I don't need you to rescue me from conversations I'm choosing to have. Choosing to, Sarah's voice climbed an octave. Lily, do you have any idea who you're talking to? Victor Romano. He introduced himself. I'm not an idiot. Could have fooled me. Sarah turned to Victor with a smile that looked like it hurt. I apologize for my cousin. She doesn't understand how things work in our world. Your world, Lily corrected, not mine. Exactly my point. Sarah's eyes glittered with malice. You don't belong here, Lily. You never have. Coming tonight was a courtesy invitation, and you're embarrassing yourself. The words landed like physical blows. Lily felt her throat close, her eyes start to burn. That's enough. Victor's voice could have cut glass. Sarah blinked. Excuse me? I said that's enough. Victor stepped between them. You've made your point. Now leave. This is my engagement party, and I'm the man who paid for it. Victor's smile was terrifying. Bradley's real estate company is leveraged to the hilt. Without my investment, he'd be bankrupt by Tuesday. So when I tell you to leave your cousin alone, you smile, you nod, and you walk away. Understand? Sarah's face went white, then red, then white again. Of course. I didn't mean, yes, you did. That's what makes it worse. Victor's gaze never wavered. Go back to your fiancé. Enjoy your party. And if I hear you've said one more word to Lily tonight, I'll pull my investment tomorrow morning. Sarah turned and fled. Lily couldn't breathe, couldn't process what had just happened. You can't do that. I just did. You just threatened to bankrupt my cousin's fiancé over a conversation. I threatened to bankrupt him because your cousin's a bully, and bullies need to learn consequences. Victor's expression was unreadable. You're welcome, by the way. I didn't ask you to defend me. No, you didn't. That's why I did it. Lily's hands were shaking. Everyone's staring. Let them. Easy for you to say, you don't care what people think. Neither should you. That's because you have power, I have nothing. You have more than you think. Victor caught her elbow as she swayed. When's the last time you ate? This morning. It's 9 p.m. I wasn't hungry. You were nervous. It wasn't a question. Come on. We're somewhere quieter, unless you want to keep having this conversation in front of 200 witnesses. Lily should refuse, should pull away, should do anything except follow Victor Romano through the ballroom like a lost puppy. Instead, she let him guide her through the crowd past the pitying stares and whispered gossip out into a corridor lined with portraits of dead rich people. The silence was deafening. Better, Victor asked. No, yes, I don't know. Lily pressed her palms against her eyes. Why did you do that? Which part? All of it. Defending me, threatening Sarah, acting like I'm someone who matters. You do matter. I'm an accountant from Brooklyn who shops at Target and eats ramen for dinner. I don't matter to people like you. People like me. Victor's jaw tightened. You keep saying that like you know what kind of person I am. I know your reputation. Reputations are stories people tell to make sense of things they don't understand. Are you saying the stories aren't true? I'm saying they're incomplete. Victor studied her with unsettling intensity. What have you heard? That you own half of Manhattan, that you make people disappear, that your last girlfriend left the city and never came back. All true. Lily's stomach dropped. You're admitting it. I'm admitting the facts are accurate. The interpretation is debatable. Victor leaned against the wall. I do own significant real estate in Manhattan. People who cross me do tend to leave town. And my last girlfriend did move to California. Did you threaten her? I begged her to go. She was a journalist. She was investigating people who would have killed her for what she'd learned. So I ended our relationship, paid for her to relocate, and told her if she ever came back to New York, I wouldn't protect her. You broke her heart to save her life. I broke her heart to keep her breathing. There's a difference. Lily processed this. Why are you telling me this? Because you asked. Because I'm tired of people assuming they know who I am based on gossip. Victor's expression was unreadable. And because if you're going to be afraid of me, I want it to be for the right reasons. What are the right reasons? I'm not a good man, Lily. I've done things that would make you sick. I've hurt people. I've made choices that haunt me. His voice dropped. But I've never lied about who I am. I've never pretended to be something I'm not. Why are you telling me this now? Because in about 30 seconds, you're going to walk back into that ballroom and everyone's going to be watching you, wondering if you're brave or stupid, wondering what Victor Romano wants with Sarah's awkward cousin. He pushed off the wall. And I need you to decide right now if you can handle that kind of attention. Lily's heart hammered. What if I can't? Then I'll make sure everyone in that room knows you're off limits. You'll go back to being invisible. Victor's eyes held hers. Is that what you want? No. The word escaped before Lily could think. I'm tired of being invisible. Then you need to understand something. Victor stepped closer. The second you walk back in there with me, everything changes. People will see you differently. They'll treat you differently. You'll have power you've never had before. Power. Access to me means access to half of New York. People will want to be your friend. They'll invite you places. They'll ask for favors. His voice turned hard. And when they realize you can't or won't deliver, they'll destroy you. So you're saying I should hide. I'm saying you should know what you're choosing. Lily looked at him, really looked at him, saw past the expensive suit and dangerous reputation to something that might have been loneliness. Or maybe just exhaustion from always being the monster in everyone else's story. What if I choose this? She asked quietly. What happens then? Then I protect you from them, from the consequences of being seen with me. Victor's voice softened. But I can't protect you from myself. I don't understand. You will. He offered his hand. One last chance to walk away, Lily Bennett. Lily stared at his outstretched palm. Every rational part of her brain screamed to refuse. To go back to her tiny apartment, and her boring job, and her safe, predictable life. Instead, she took his hand. His fingers closed around hers, warm, steady anchoring. "No going back now," Victor murmured. "I know." They walked back into the ballroom together. The room didn't go silent, that would have been too dramatic. But Lily felt the weight of every gaze, heard the whispers that followed them like smoke. Victor led her to the dance floor. The string quartet was playing something slow and devastating. "I don't know if I remember how," Lily whispered. "I'll lead, just follow." His hand settled on her waist. Lily's palm rested on his shoulder. They moved together, and somehow Lily's body knew what to do. "Everyone's watching," she said. "Good. Let them see you." "See me as what?" "As mine." The possessiveness in his voice should have terrified her. Instead, it sent heat racing through her veins. "I'm not yours," Lily said. "I barely know you. Yet here you are, dancing with me in front of everyone who told you I'm dangerous." "Maybe I like danger." "No, you don't. You're terrified. I can feel you shaking." "Then why are you doing this?" Victor spun her out and pulled her back in one smooth motion. "Because I'm selfish. Because I saw you standing against that wall looking like you wanted to disappear, and I wanted to make you visible." His voice dropped. "Because for the first time in 5 years, I met someone who doesn't want anything from me except honesty." "How do you know I don't want something?" "Because you haven't asked for a single thing. You haven't dropped names or hinted at connections. You just stood there being yourself. Being myself is exactly what everyone hates. Everyone except me." Lily looked up at him. Victor's eyes were dark, unreadable, but there was something in them that looked like truth. "What do you want from me?" she asked. "I don't know yet." His honesty was brutal, but I want the chance to find out. The song ended. Other couples drifted away from the dance floor, but Victor didn't release her. "One more," he said. It wasn't a question. "People are staring. Let them." They danced through 2 more songs. Lily stopped counting. The stares stopped caring about the whispers. There was just Victor's hand on her waist, his breath warm against her temple, the steady rhythm of their movements. "I need to tell you something," Victor said quietly. "What?" "In approximately 5 minutes, a man named Dominic is going to ask to speak with me. It's business. I'll have to leave." "Okay. And when I do, people are going to approach you. They'll ask questions. They'll try to figure out who you are and what you mean to me." Lily's stomach tightened. "What should I say?" "Whatever you want. But remember, anything you say will spread through this room like wildfire." Victor's grip on her hand tightened. "If you want to downplay this, say we're old friends. If you want to scare them, say nothing at all." "What do you want me to say?" "That's not my choice to make." "Yes, it is. You're the one who dragged me onto this dance floor." "You took my hand, Lily. That was your choice." Before she could respond, a tall man with silver hair appeared at the edge of the dance floor. He caught Victor's eye and nodded once. "That's my cue." Victor stepped back. "Thank you for the dance." "Wait." But he was already walking away, his posture changing from relaxed to tense in the span of a heartbeat. The man Dominic fell into step beside him, and they disappeared through a side door. Lily stood alone on the dance floor, suddenly conscious of the 100 eyes watching her. A woman in a red dress materialized beside her. "So, you're the mystery girl." "I'm sorry. The girl Victor Romano danced with for 15 minutes straight." The woman's smile was sharp. "I'm Elena Marchese. My husband does business with Victor." "Lily Bennett. I know who you are, Sarah's cousin, the accountant." Elena's eyes swept over her. "Though you must be more than that if Victor's interested." "We're just—" "Don't bother lying. Victor doesn't dance. He barely tolerates these events. The fact that he spent the last 20 minutes focused entirely on you means something." Elena leaned closer. "Word of advice, be careful. Victor's world is complicated." "Everyone keeps telling me that." "Because it's true." Elena's expression softened slightly. "He's not a bad man, but he's a dangerous one, and women who get too close tend to disappear. His last girlfriend moved to California for work." "Is that what he told you?" Elena's laugh was bitter. "Sweetheart, Victor Romano doesn't tell anyone the whole truth. Whatever he's shown you is exactly what he wants you to see." She walked away before Lily could respond. Lily's phone buzzed in her clutch. She pulled it out with shaking hands. Unknown number balcony. North side, 5 minutes. Come alone. Her heart stopped. She looked around the ballroom, but Victor was nowhere to be seen. Another message. Trust me. Lily shouldn't go. Should delete the message. Should find Sarah and leave this party and never look back. Instead, she walked through the crowd, past the champagne fountain and the ice swans, through the glass doors onto the balcony overlooking Central Park. The cold March air bit into her skin. The balcony was empty except for you came. Victor stepped out of the shadows. I wasn't sure you would. You texted me from an unknown number and told me to meet you on a dark balcony. I'm either brave or stupid. Both, probably. He leaned against the railing. I couldn't leave things the way I did, walking away mid-conversation. You had business. I always have business. That's not an excuse for being rude. Victor studied her. Elena talked to you. How did you, I have people watching, making sure no one bothers you. That's creepy. That's protection. There's a difference. Lily wrapped her arms around herself, shivering. Victor immediately shrugged off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. The silk lining was warm from his body heat. I can't take this, she protested. You're freezing. You'll be cold. I grew up in worse than this. Victor's expression was distant. My father used to lock me on the fire escape in winter, said it built character. Lily's chest tightened. That's abuse. That was Tuesday. He said it so casually, like childhood trauma was just another Tuesday. I survived, learned not to show weakness. Is that why you're so controlled? So careful about what you show people? Partially, the rest is survival instinct. Victor turned to face her. In my world, vulnerability gets you killed. Then why are you being vulnerable with me? Because I'm tired. Because I'm 36 years old and I've spent the last 15 years being exactly what everyone expects me to be. And because you spilled champagne on my shoes and looked at me like I was human instead of a monster. Lily's breath caught. You're not a monster. You don't know that. I know you defended me from my cousin. I know you made sure I had food. I know you're standing here on a freezing balcony telling me things that could probably get you killed just because you wanted to explain why you walked away mid-conversation. Those are small things. Small things reveal character. Victor was quiet for a long moment. Then, you're going to regret this. What? Whatever this is, whatever's starting between us. His voice was rough. You're going to wake up one day and realize you made a terrible mistake trusting me. Maybe you're going to realize you're not as dangerous as you think you are. I'm exactly as dangerous as people say. Then why warn me? Why not just let me figure it out the hard way? Because I like you. The admission seemed to cost him something, and I don't want to destroy you. What if I'm stronger than you think? What if you're not? They stood in the cold, 2 feet apart, the city glittering below them like broken glass. I should go back inside, Lily said finally, before people notice I'm missing. They already noticed. Victor's phone buzzed in. He glanced at it, frowned. I have to leave. The meeting I just had there are complications. Anything serious? Everything in my life is serious. He hesitated. Can I have your number? Your real one, not the one I pulled from Sarah's phone contacts. You went through my cousin's phone. I wanted to make sure you got home safely tonight. Sue me. Despite everything, Lily almost smiled. She rattled off her number. Victor typed it into his phone. I'll text you, he said. Tomorrow, if that's okay. Why wouldn't it be okay? Because I'm giving you the night to change your mind. To wake up and realize that dancing with me was temporary insanity, brought on by too much champagne and family drama. I only had 1 glass, and I spilled most of it on you. Then you're doing this sober, which makes it worse. Victor stepped closer. Last chance, Lily. Tell me to delete your number and I will. Tell me tonight was a mistake and I'll make sure we never cross paths again. And if I don't tell you that, then tomorrow everything changes. Lily looked at him, this dangerous, complicated man who'd shown her more honesty in 3 hours than most people managed in a lifetime. I'm not telling you to delete it, she whispered. Something shifted in Victor's expression. You're sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. Brave or stupid? You said both. I was right. Victor reached out, brushed a strand of hair from her face. His fingers lingered against her cheek. Go back inside. Find your coat. Go home. Lock your doors. Why do I need to lock my doors? Because now that people have seen you with me, you're interesting. And interesting people attract attention. His voice turned hard. I'll have someone watch your building tonight. You won't see them, but they'll be there. Victor, that's non-negotiable. You're under my protection now, whether you want it or not. He walked away before she could argue, disappearing back into the ballroom like a ghost. Lily stood alone on the balcony wearing Victor Romano's jacket, her heart racing, her mind spinning with everything that had just happened. She should be terrified, should recognize this for what it was, a powerful man exerting control, making decisions about her safety without her consent. Instead, she felt protected, seen, valued. Maybe Elena was right. Maybe she was making a terrible mistake. But as Lily walked back into the warmth of the ballroom, Victor's jacket heavy on her shoulders, she couldn't bring herself to care. She found her coat, called an Uber, and slipped out of the party without saying goodbye to Sarah. Let her cousin wonder. Let everyone wonder. The ride back to Brooklyn felt surreal. Manhattan's lights blurred past the window. Lily pulled Victor's jacket tighter around her shoulders, breathing in the scent of his cologne. Her phone buzzed. Victor, you made it to the car. Good. Lily's heart jumped. She typed back. You're watching me, Victor. I told you, you're protected. This is insane, yes. But you're still smiling. Lily caught her reflection in the car window. He was right. She was smiling like an idiot. Go to sleep, Lily. Tomorrow we figure out what happens next. And what does happen next? The typing indicator blinked for a long moment. Finally, I have absolutely no idea. But I'm looking forward to finding out. Lily fell asleep that night with Victor's jacket draped over her chair, her phone on her nightstand, and the strange, terrifying certainty that her entire life had just changed in the space of a single evening. She was right, but she had no idea just how much. Lily's phone rang at 6:47 in the morning. She grabbed it without looking, her voice thick with sleep. Hello. You're still alive. Good. Lily bolted upright. Victor's voice was unmistakable, low-controlled with that edge of dark humor that made her pulse spike. It's not even 7, she croaked. I'm aware. I've been up since 4. Papers rustled in the background. I wanted to make sure no one bothered you last night. No one bothered me. I live in a walk-up in Brooklyn. The most exciting thing that happens here is the bodega cat fighting with pigeons. The bodega cat won, by the way. I have footage. Lily's brain short-circuited. You're joking. I never joke about security footage. Your building has 3 entry points, no doorman, and locks that could be picked by a determined 12-year-old. I had cameras installed at 2 a.m. You what? Relax, they're only on the exterior. I'm controlling, not a pervert. Victor's tone shifted. Though I did notice you kept my jacket. Lily's gaze snapped to the chair where Victor's jacket hung like an accusation. I was going to return it. Keep it. It looks better on you anyway. Victor, I'm sending a car for you. Be ready in an hour. A car? Why would I need a... Because we're having breakfast, unless you have other plans. I have work. Call in sick. I can't just call in sick because some guy wants to have breakfast. Some guy? Victor's laugh was short and sharp. Is that what I am? I don't know what you are. That's the problem. Then let's figure it out. 1 hour. Don't make me wait. He hung up before Lily could argue. She stared at her phone, her heart hammering, her mind racing through 1,000 reasons why this was a terrible idea. Then she got in the shower. 58 minutes later, Lily stood on the sidewalk outside her building, wearing jeans, a sweater, and anxiety like a second skin. A black Mercedes pulled up exactly on time. The driver stepped out, a mountain of a man with a scar running through his left eyebrow. Ms. Bennett. That's me. Tony, Mr. Romano sent me. He opened the back door. He's waiting at the restaurant. Lily slid into the car, her hands twisting in her lap. The leather seats smelled expensive. Everything about this felt surreal. First time? Tony asked, his eyes finding hers in the rearview mirror. First time what? Getting picked up by one of Victor's cars. Is it that obvious? You look like you're expecting the seats to bite you. Tony pulled into traffic. Relax, boss wouldn't send me if he didn't trust you. He doesn't know me well enough to trust me. He knows enough. Tony's expression was unreadable. Word of advice, Victor doesn't do casual. Whatever this is, it matters to him. How do you know? I don't know. Because in 5 years, I've never been sent to pick up a woman. Not once. Tony met her eyes in the mirror. So yeah, you matter. Lily's stomach flipped. She stared out the window, watching Brooklyn blur into Manhattan, her nerves climbing with every mile. The restaurant was in Tribeca, small, intimate, with windows overlooking the Hudson. Tony opened her door. He's inside, table in the back. Lily walked in on shaking legs. The hostess smiled like she'd been expecting her. Ms. Bennett, right this way. Victor sat at a corner table, his attention on his phone. He wore a black sweater and dark jeans, casual by his standards, but still screaming money. When he looked up and saw her, something shifted in his expression. You're early, he said. I'm 3 minutes late. I said 1 hour. You made it in 58 minutes. That's early by most standards. Victor stood, pulled out her chair. You look terrified. I am terrified. Good. Keeps you honest. He sat back down. Coffee, please. Victor signaled the waiter, who appeared instantly with a pot of coffee and 2 menus. Lily's hands shook as she poured cream into her cup. You didn't sleep, Victor observed. How can you tell? You're wearing the same expression I see in the mirror every morning. Exhausted but too wired to rest. He studied her. Second thoughts. About 1,000 of them. Want to leave? Yes, but I'm not going to. Why not? Because I spent 28 years doing the safe thing, and where did it get me? Standing against walls at parties, invisible to everyone who matters. You matter. To whom my mother thinks I'm a disappointment. My cousin thinks I'm an embarrassment. My coworkers don't know I exist. Lily met his eyes. But last night you looked at me like I was real. Victor's expression darkened. You are real, Lily. Everyone else is just blind. Or I'm forgettable. There's nothing forgettable about you. You barely know me. I know you spilled champagne on me and apologized 6 times in 30 seconds. I know you hid in a corridor because your cousin humiliated you. I know you danced with me even though everyone was staring. Victor leaned forward. I know you're brave enough to be terrified and still show up. That's not brave, that's stupid. It's both. Best kind of courage there is. The waiter appeared. Victor ordered eggs and toast without looking at the menu. Lily ordered the same because her brain had stopped functioning. So, Victor said once they were alone again, tell me about you. What do you want to know? Everything. Start with why you became an accountant. Because I'm good with numbers and bad with people. Try again. Lily's throat tightened. Because my father lost everything in bad investments when I was 12. We went from middle class to food stamps in 6 months. He died of a heart attack 2 years later. She stared into her coffee. I learned that numbers don't lie. They don't make promises they can't keep. So I studied accounting because at least I could predict where the money would go. Victor was quiet for a long moment. I'm sorry. Don't be. It was 16 years ago. Time doesn't erase that kind of loss. No, it doesn't. Lily looked at him. What about you? Why do you do what you do? You mean, why am I a criminal? The bluntness made her flinch. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. It's what everyone thinks. Victor's smile was humorless. My father ran one of New York's oldest crime families. I was born into this. No choice, no escape. You could have left. Could I? Men like me don't retire, Lily. We die or we disappear, and disappearing only works if you're willing to abandon everyone you've ever cared about. His jaw tightened. I tried once. When I was 22, moved to Boston, got a job in construction, pretended to be normal. What happened? My father sent someone to kill my girlfriend. Said if I wanted to play house, he'd make sure the house burned down with everyone inside. Victor's voice went flat. I came back the next day. Been here ever since. Lily's chest ached. That's horrible. That's my life. Victor met her eyes. And now you know exactly what you're getting into. Am I getting into something? That depends. Are you running yet? Not yet. Give it time. The food arrived. And they ate in silence for a few minutes, the tension stretching between them like a wire. Why me? Lily asked finally. Really? You could have anyone. I don't want anyone. I want someone who sees past the money and the reputation to the person underneath. Victor set down his fork. Do you know how many women have thrown themselves at me in the last 5 years? I'm guessing a lot. Hundreds. And every single one wanted the same thing: access to my world, my connections, my bank account. His expression was bitter. You're the first person in years who looked at me like I was the last thing you wanted. That's because you are. Exactly. You don't want anything from me. You're just honest. Victor leaned back. It's addictive. Honesty? From you, yes. Lily's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and felt her stomach drop. Sarah, we need to talk, now. Problem? Victor asked. My cousin, she wants to talk. About last night. Probably, Ignore her. I can't just ignore her. Why not? She spent your entire life making you feel invisible. Return the favor. It's not that simple. It absolutely is. Victor's eyes hardened. She doesn't get to humiliate you in public and then demand your attention the next day. Lily's phone rang. Sarah's name flashed on the screen. Don't answer it, Victor said. Lily answered it. Where the hell are you? Sarah's voice was shrill. I've been calling all morning. I'm having breakfast. With who? Lily glanced at Victor. His expression was unreadable. A friend. Bullshit, you don't have friends. Sarah's voice climbed higher. Is it him? Are you with Victor Romano? That's none of your business. It absolutely is my business. Do you have any idea what you've done? Bradley's investors are pulling out because Victor threatened them. Our wedding might not happen because Sarah? Because I danced with someone, because I didn't let you humiliate me without consequence. This isn't about you. This is about my life, my future. Then maybe you shouldn't have spent 28 years treating me like garbage. Lily hung up. Her hands were shaking so hard she almost dropped the phone. Feel better? Victor asked. No, yes, I don't know. Lily pressed her palms against her eyes. She's right. This is my fault. This is absolutely not your fault. Victor's voice turned dangerous. Bradley's investors are pulling out because I told them what kind of man he is. A bully who stands by while his fiancée tears down her own family. You're destroying their wedding. I'm protecting you from people who don't deserve your loyalty. That's not your choice to make. You're right, it's not. Victor stood, threw cash on the table. Let's go. Where? Somewhere we can talk without you having a panic attack in the middle of a restaurant. Victor led her outside. Tony was waiting with the car. Where to? Tony asked. The waterfront, the private dock. Victor opened the door for Lily. Get in. Lily climbed into the car, her heart hammering, her mind spinning. Victor slid in beside her. You can't just control every thing, Lily said. I can and I do. That's how I've survived this long. By making decisions for other people. By protecting people too stubborn to protect themselves. Victor's jaw was tight. Your cousin and her fiancé are users, Lily. They would have bled you dry and never looked back. You don't know that. I know exactly that. I've dealt with men like Bradley my entire life. They smile to your face and stab you in the back the second you are not useful anymore. The car pulled up to a private dock. Victor got out, extended his hand. Lily took it, let him lead her down a weathered pier to a small boathouse at the end. Inside, the space was sparse: a table, 2 chairs, windows overlooking the water. Victor closed the door behind them. This is where you bring people to kill them, isn't it? Lily's voice came out higher than intended. This is where I come to think. Victor leaned against the table. No one knows about this place except Tony. I bought it under a shell corporation 10 years ago. Why are we here? Because you need to understand something. Victor's eyes locked onto hers. I'm not a good man, Lily. I've done things that would make you sick. I've hurt people who deserved it and people who didn't. I've made choices that keep me awake at night. Then why are you telling me this? Because I like you, and because liking you terrifies me more than anything I've faced in 15 years. His voice dropped. I don't know how to do this, how to be with someone without destroying them. Maybe you're not as destructive as you think. Or maybe you're not as strong as you think. They stood 3 feet apart, the tension between them crackling like electricity. I should go, Lily whispered. You keep saying that. Because it's true. Then why are you still here? Because I'm an idiot who doesn't know when to quit. Or because you feel it too. Feel what? This, whatever this is. Victor stepped closer. Tell me you don't feel it, and I'll take you home right now. I'll delete your number. I'll make sure we never see each other again. Lily's heart hammered against her ribs. I can't. Can't what? Can't tell you I don't feel it. Victor closed the distance between them. His hand came up, cupped her face. This is your last chance to walk away. I know. I'm giving you an out, Lily. Take it. What if I don't want an out? Then God help us both. He kissed her. The world tilted. Lily's hands fisted in his sweater, pulling him closer. Victor's arm wrapped around her waist, anchoring her against him. The kiss was desperate, messy, real. Nothing like the polished romance in movies. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Victor rested his forehead against hers. We shouldn't do this, he said. I know. This is a mistake. I know that too. I'm going to hurt you. Probably. Lily looked up at him. But I'm tired of being safe. Victor's expression was anguished. You're going to regret this. Maybe. But right now, I don't care. He kissed her again, softer this time. Slower, like he was memorizing the shape of her mouth, the taste of her, the way she fit against him. Lily's phone buzzed, then buzzed again and again. You should check that, Victor murmured against her lips. I really don't want to. Check it anyway. Lily pulled out her phone. 7 missed calls from Sarah, 3 from her mother, and 1 text from a number she didn't recognize. Unknown, tell your boyfriend that threats have consequences. Bradley's not the forgiving type. Lily's blood went cold. Victor, he took the phone, read the message. His expression went deadly calm. Tony, he called. The door opened instantly. Tony stepped inside, his hand already moving to his jacket. Someone just threatened her, Victor said. Tony's expression hardened. Want me to trace it? Already doing it. Victor was typing on his phone. It's a burner. They're not stupid. What does this mean? Lily asked. It means Bradley's playing a game he's going to lose. Victor handed her phone back. Pack a bag. You're staying with me until this gets sorted. I'm not staying with you. That wasn't a request. I have a job. I have a life. You have people threatening you because you're connected to me. Victor's voice was steel. I'm not letting you go home to that walk-up with its broken locks and no security. You can't just kidnap me. I'm not kidnapping you. I'm protecting you. By making decisions without asking me, yes, no apology in his voice. Because you don't understand how dangerous this is. Then explain it to me. Bradley Carmichael's family has connections to people I've spent 15 years keeping at arm's length. They're not Mafia, but they're close enough to be stupid. Victor's jaw was tight, and stupid people with money are the most dangerous kind. Lily's hands shook. This is insane. Welcome to my world. I didn't ask for this. No, you didn't. You just wanted one dance, one moment of being seen. Victor's expression softened. I'm sorry, I should have walked away after the party, should have let you go back to your safe, boring life. It's too late for that now. It's not. I can still fix this. Make it look like last night meant nothing. Spread the word that you were a momentary distraction. And if I don't want that, then you're coming with me. No arguments. Lily looked at him, this dangerous, complicated man who'd upended her entire life in less than 24 hours. One condition, she said. What? You stop making decisions for me. If I'm doing this, if I'm staying with you, then I get a say in what happens next. Victor studied her for a long moment. Deal. That was surprisingly easy. Don't get used to it. But there was something like respect in his eyes. Let's go. Tony drove them to a high-rise in Midtown. The penthouse took up the entire top floor. This is where you live? Lily asked. One of the places. Victor led her inside. The space was minimalist, all clean lines and expensive furniture that looked like no one had ever sat on it. Guest rooms down the hall, second door on the left. Where will you be? Making calls, finding out who sent that text. Victor's expression was grim. Stay inside. Don't answer the door. Don't leave without telling me. You're serious. Deadly serious. He disappeared into what looked like a home office. Lily stood alone in the massive living room, her reflection staring back at her from floor-to-ceiling windows. 24 hours ago, she'd been invisible. Now she was in a penthouse, hiding from threats, kissing a man who freely admitted he was dangerous. Her phone rang. Her mother, Lily, answered. Hi, Mom. What the hell is wrong with you? Her mother's voice could strip paint. Sarah called me crying, said you've destroyed her wedding. I didn't destroy anything. You showed up to her engagement party, embarrassed yourself, and seduced some criminal in front of everyone who matters. I didn't seduce anyone. Sarah says you spent the entire night draped all over Victor Romano. Do you have any idea what people are saying? I really don't care what people are saying. Of course you don't. You never have. You've always been selfish, Lily, always thinking about yourself. That's rich coming from you. Excuse me. You've spent my entire life making me feel like I wasn't good enough, like I was an embarrassment to the family. Well, guess what, Mom? I'm done apologizing for existing. Don't you dare. Lily hung up, turned off her phone, threw it on the couch. Victor appeared in the doorway. Feel better. Not even a little bit. Your family's toxic. They're still my family. That doesn't make them worth keeping. Victor crossed to the bar, poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handed her one. Drink. Lily drank, the whiskey burn going down. I found out who sent the text, Victor said. Who Time was? Bradley's cousin, Marco Carmichael. He's an idiot with delusions of power. Victor's expression was dark. I'm handling it. What does that mean? It means he's going to apologize, publicly, and then he's going to leave you alone forever. How are you going to make that happen? Trust me, you don't want to know. Lily set down her glass. If we're doing this, if I'm staying here, then I need you to stop protecting me from the truth. The truth will terrify you. I'm already terrified. At least let me know why. Victor was quiet for a long moment. Then he pulled out his phone, showed her a photo. Marco Carmichael, young, handsome, arrogant, standing outside a nightclub with 2 other men. That was taken 3 hours ago, Victor said. He's currently in a warehouse in Red Hook, having a conversation with some associates of mine. Lily's stomach dropped. You kidnapped him. I invited him to a business meeting. He chose to accept. That's kidnapping. That's negotiation. Victor's voice was cold. By the time that meeting's over, Marco will understand that threatening you was the worst mistake of his life. Victor. He threatened you, Lily, sent you a message designed to scare you, to make you feel unsafe. Victor's eyes were black. No one gets to do that, not while you're under my protection. I didn't ask for your protection. You took my hand, you danced with me, you kissed me. Victor stepped closer. Whether you asked for it or not, you have it now. This is his own essay. This is my world, and you're in it now. He cupped her face. I told you I'd destroy you. This is how it starts. Lily should push him away, should demand he take her home, should end this before it went any further. Instead, she kissed him and fell headfirst into the dangerous, impossible mess of loving Victor Romano. Victor's phone rang at exactly 9 p.m., shattering the fragile quiet that had settled between them. He pulled away from Lily, his expression shifting from heated to cold in the span of a heartbeat. I need to take this, he said. Is it about Marco? Probably. Victor pressed the phone to his ear, his voice dropping into rapid Italian. The conversation lasted 30 seconds. When he hung up, his jaw was tight. It's handled. What does that mean? It means Marco Carmichael just called Bradley and told him to leave you alone. Permanently. Lily's stomach twisted. What did you do to him? Nothing he won't recover from. Victor poured himself another whiskey. He's going to have trust issues around warehouses for a while, but that's a small price to pay for threatening you. Victor, don't ask me for details you don't want to know. I need to know. If I'm part of this, I need to understand what that means. Victor studied her for a long moment. Then he set down his glass and walked to the window, his back to her. We didn't touch him, he said quietly. Not physically. That's not how I operate anymore. Then what did you do? We showed him pictures, videos, evidence of every illegal thing he's done in the last 5 years. Victor's voice was flat. Tax evasion, embezzlement, an offshore account in the Caymans that the IRS would love to know about. We gave him a choice: leave you alone, or we send everything to the federal prosecutor who's been looking for a reason to take down the Carmichael family for a decade. Lily's hands shook. You blackmailed him. I protected you. By threatening to destroy his life. Yes, no apology in his tone, and I'd do it again. This isn't normal, Victor. This isn't how normal people solve problems. I'm not normal people. He turned to face her. I told you that from the beginning. You want normal. There's the door. I'll have Tony drive you home. Lily should take him up on it, should walk out of this penthouse and never look back. Instead, she stayed rooted to the spot, her heart hammering, her mind racing. I don't want normal, she said finally. Then what do you want? Honesty. If we're doing this, whatever this is, I need you to be honest with me. No more protecting me from the truth. Victor crossed to her in 3 strides. You want honesty? Fine. Here it is. His eyes burned into hers. I've spent the last 15 years being exactly what my father trained me to be. Ruthless, controlled, emotionless. And then you spilled champagne on my shoes and looked at me like I was just a man. You are just a man. No, I'm not. I'm a monster who's very good at pretending to be human. His voice roughened. And you're making me forget which one is real. Maybe they're both real. Or maybe I'm fooling us both. Victor's hand came up, cupped her face. You should be terrified of me. I am terrified of you. Then why are you still here? Because I'm more terrified of going back to being invisible. Victor kissed her, then hard, desperate, like he was trying to prove a point or make her understand something words couldn't convey. Lily kissed him back just as desperately, her hands fisting in his shirt, pulling him closer. His phone rang again. Victor ignored it. It rang twice more before he pulled away, cursing in Italian. I have to get this, he said. I know. He stepped into his office, closing the door. Lily heard his voice rise sharp and commanding. She couldn't make out the words, but the tone was unmistakable. Something was wrong. The door opened 5 minutes later. Victor's expression was carved from stone. Get your things, he said. What's happening? We need to leave. Now. Victor, you're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. He was already moving, grabbing his jacket, checking his phone. Bradley's father just landed in New York. Martin Carmichael makes his son look like a playground bully. What does that mean for us? It means the game just changed. Victor pulled out his phone, dialed. Tony, bring the car around. We're leaving in 3 minutes. He hung up, turned back to Lily. Martin's old school. He doesn't negotiate. He retaliates. Against you. Against anyone he perceives as a threat to his family's reputation. Victor's jaw tightened. Which now includes you. Lily's blood went cold. Because of me. Because I danced with you. Because you are connected to me. That makes you a target. Then disconnect me. Tell everyone it meant nothing. It's too late for that. Victor grabbed her coat. Martin's already heard the story. Already knows I threatened his nephew, disrupted his son's wedding, all for a girl from Brooklyn. He helped her into her jacket. He's going to come after you to get to me. So what do? We disappear for a while. Let things cool down. Disappear where? I have a house upstate. No one knows about it except Tony and 2 other people I trust with my life. Victor was already moving toward the door. We'll stay there until Martin realizes you're not worth the trouble. And if he doesn't realize that, Victor's expression was grim, then I'll make him realize it. They took the elevator down to the parking garage. Tony was waiting with the car running. Victor opened the back door, practically pushed Lily inside. Where to? Tony asked. The house in Cold Spring. Take the back roads. Tony pulled out of the garage. Lily watched the city lights blur past her heart, racing her mind, spinning with everything that had happened in the last 36 hours. I'm sorry, Victor said quietly. For what? For dragging you into this. For being selfish enough to pursue you when I knew it would put you in danger. You didn't drag me anywhere. I made my own choices. You didn't know what you were choosing. Neither did you. Victor's hand found hers in the dark. I'm going to fix this. How? I don't know yet, but I will. They drove in silence for 20 minutes. Lily watched the city give way to suburbs, then to darkness, broken only by occasional streetlights. Victor, she said finally, what happens if you can't fix this? That's not an option. But what if I will fix this? His grip on her hand tightened. I've spent 15 years making sure no one could touch the people I care about. I'm not losing that streak now. You care about me. Victor looked at her, his expression raw. More than I should. Lily's throat tightened. I don't know what to do with that. Neither do I. He pulled her closer. But we'll figure it out. Tony's phone rang. He answered on the first ring, his expression darkening as he listened. Boss, he said, we have a problem. What kind of problem? There's a car following us. Black SUV. Been on our tail since we left Manhattan. Victor turned, looked out the back window. How long? Since the Bronx. Lose them. Already on it. Tony took the next exit, merged onto a dark country road. The SUV followed. Tony accelerated the car's engine, roaring to life. Lily's fingers dug into the leather seat. Who is it? She asked. Probably Martin's people. Seeing where we're going? Victor's voice was eerily calm. Tony, how close are we to the turnoff? 5 miles. Don't lead them to the house. Take them to the old mill instead. You sure? Do it. Tony took a sharp left onto an even darker road. The SUV stayed close. Lily's heart hammered against her ribs. What's happening? She asked. Tony's going to make them think we're holing up at an abandoned property I own. Meanwhile, we're going to slip out and double back to the actual house. Victor's eyes never left the back window. Just stay down. Stay down, Victor. Lily, get down. Now. The urgency in his voice made her comply. She slid down in the seat, her pulse racing. Tony took another sharp turn. The tires squealed. Lily's stomach lurched. The car stopped. Everything went silent. Stay here, Victor said. Don't move. He got out. Lily heard voices, low, tense, controlled. She couldn't make out the words, but she recognized Victor's tone. Commanding, dangerous. Then a gunshot split the night. Lily screamed. The car door flew open. Victor threw himself inside, blood streaking his left shoulder. Drive, he shouted. Tony floored it. The car shot forward. More gunshots. The back window exploded. Glass rained down on Lily's head. Are you hit? Victor demanded, his hands running over her, checking for injuries. No, I'm fine, but you're bleeding. It's a graze, I'm fine. But his face was pale. Tony's status. Lost them for now. Tony's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. But they're going to regroup. We need to get you medical attention. Not until we're at the house. Victor, you're bleeding. I said not until we're at the house. Victor pressed his hand against his shoulder, his jaw tight. How far? 10 minutes. Then drive. Lily's hands shook as she pulled off her sweater, pressed it against Victor's shoulder. Who were they? Martin's people. Apparently he's more proactive than I thought. They shot at us. They actually shot at us. Welcome to my world. Victor's attempt at a smile came out as a grimace. Still think I'm not as dangerous as people say? I think you're bleeding and making jokes. That's either bravery or stupidity. Told you, both. The house appeared through the trees, a sprawling stone structure that looked like it belonged in a different century. Tony pulled up to the front door. I'll get the first aid kit, he said. Victor stumbled, getting out of the car. Lily caught him, her arm around his waist. He was heavier than she expected, solid muscle and determination. I can walk, he said, clearly, but she didn't let go. Where's the door? Fingerprint scanner. Left side. Lily found it, pressed Victor's thumb to the sensor. The door clicked open. They stumbled inside together. The interior was surprisingly warm, wood floors, exposed beams, furniture that looked lived in. Tony appeared with a massive first aid kit. Couch, he ordered. Shirt off. Victor sat, pulled off his shirt with a wince. The bullet had carved a line across his shoulder, deep but not life-threatening. Lily's stomach turned. I'm going to be sick, she said. Bathroom's down the hall, Tony said without looking up. Second door on the right. Lily ran, made it to the bathroom just in time to empty her stomach into the toilet. She stayed there for several minutes, shaking her forehead, pressed against the cool porcelain. A knock on the door. Lily, Victor's voice. You okay? You just got shot, and you're asking if I'm okay. Tony patched me up. I've had worse. That's not comforting. Can I come in? Lily flushed the toilet, rinsed her mouth, opened the door. Victor stood there shirtless, his shoulder wrapped in white bandages. He looked pale but steady. "I'm sorry," he said. "Stop apologizing. I almost got you killed. You saved my life. There's a difference." Lily's voice shook. "Who were they really?" "Martin's private security, former military, all of them. Very expensive, very good at what they do, which is sending messages." Victor leaned against the doorframe. "He wanted us to know he's serious. Mission accomplished." "Yeah." Victor's expression was grim. "We need to talk strategy." "Strategy? How we're going to handle this? What comes next?" Lily's legs felt weak. "I need to sit down." They moved to the living room. Tony had disappeared somewhere, giving them privacy. Victor eased onto the couch with a wince. "Here's what's going to happen," he said. "Tomorrow I'm going to reach out to Martin. Set up a meeting." "A meeting, Victor? He just tried to kill us. He tried to scare us. There's a difference. If Martin wanted us dead, we'd be dead." Victor's voice was matter-of-fact. "The shooting was theater, a demonstration of power." "That's insane. That's the world I live in, posturing and power plays." Victor looked at her. "I'm going to offer him a deal." "What kind of deal?" "I'll back off from Bradley's business ventures. Stop interfering with the wedding. In exchange, he leaves you alone." Lily's stomach dropped. "You're going to let this win." "I'm going to protect you. That's not losing." "Yes, it is. You're giving them exactly what they want. What I want is for you to be safe. Everything else is negotiable." "What about what I want?" Victor's expression softened. "What do you want, Lily?" "I want to stop running. I want to stop hiding. I want—" Her voice broke. "I want to matter to someone for reasons that have nothing to do with what I can do for them or who I'm connected to. You matter to me. Do I? Or am I just another responsibility? Another person you need to protect because that's what you do?" The question hung between them like a grenade. "You think I'm doing this out of obligation?" Victor's voice was low. "You think I take bullets for people I don't care about. I think you're so used to being the protector that you don't know how to be anything else. You're wrong. Am I? Name one person in your life who isn't an employee or an asset." Victor was silent. "That's what I thought," Lily said quietly. "My sister." Lily's head snapped up. "What? I have a sister, Natalia. She's 26, lives in Italy, and thinks I'm a corporate investor." Victor's expression was carefully blank. "I send her money every month through a trust. She doesn't know where it comes from, doesn't know what I do, doesn't know I exist." "Why?" "Because when I was 25, my father ordered me to kill her boyfriend. Said the kid was a liability, too interested in family business." Victor's voice went flat. "I didn't kill him. I paid him $100,000 to disappear. Told my father I'd handled it. Then I sent Natalia to Italy to study art. She never came back." Lily's chest ached. "Does she know?" "That I saved her life by destroying it? No. She thinks her boyfriend abandoned her, and her brother doesn't care enough to visit." Victor met her eyes. "I let her hate me because it's safer than her loving me." That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. That's survival. Victor stood, walked to the window. "Everyone I've ever cared about has gotten hurt. My mother, my sister, Elena. Elena, the girlfriend who moved to California. She was a journalist investigating human trafficking. Got too close to people my father worked with." Victor's shoulders were tight. "I ended things to protect her. Told her I'd never loved her. Made sure she believed it." "Did you love her?" "I thought I did. Now I'm not sure I know what love is." He turned to face her. "But whatever this is with you, it's different, stronger, more terrifying." Lily crossed to him. "I'm not going to disappear to Italy or California. You might have to." "No," her voice was firm. "I'm not running from my life because your world is complicated. This isn't complicated. This is dangerous. Then teach me how to survive it." Victor stared at her. "What? You heard me. You want to protect me. Fine. But stop trying to hide me away like I'm breakable." Lily's hands balled into fists. "I grew up poor. I watched my father die. I've spent 28 years being dismissed and overlooked. I'm stronger than you think." This isn't about strength. Yes, it is. You're treating me like a liability instead of a partner. Partner, Victor's laugh was short. Lily, you've been in my world for 36 hours. You have no idea. Then teach me. She stepped closer. Stop protecting me from the truth and start preparing me for it. Victor studied her for a long moment. You're serious. Completely. You understand what you're asking. If you learn how my world works, you can't unknow it. Can't go back to your safe life. I don't want my safe life. I want this, whatever this is. Victor's expression shifted surprise, respect, something that might have been hope. You're insane. Maybe, but you're insane. Lily met his eyes. So stop trying to send me away and start trusting that I can handle this. Victor pulled her close, kissed her hard. This is a terrible idea. Most good things are. His phone rang. Victor ignored it. It rang again and again. You should get that, Lily said against his mouth. Probably. But he didn't let go. The phone stopped ringing. 2 seconds later, Tony appeared in the doorway. Boss, you need to see this. Victor pulled away from Lily reluctantly. What is it? Tony held up his phone. Martin Carmichael just held a press conference. He's claiming you kidnapped his nephew, threatened his family, and are holding an innocent woman hostage. Lily's blood went cold. He what? There's more. Tony's expression was grim. He's offering a reward for information on your whereabouts. $500,000. Victor's jaw tightened. Show me. Tony pulled up a video. Martin Carmichael stood at a podium, his expression grave, his voice trembling with manufactured emotion. My family has been terrorized by a dangerous criminal, he said. Victor Romano has kidnapped my nephew, threatened my son, and is currently holding a young woman named Lily Bennett against her will. If anyone has information about their whereabouts, please contact the authorities immediately. There is a $500,000 reward for information leading to her safe return. The video ended. Lily felt the room spin. He's lying, she said. I'm not being held hostage. Doesn't matter. Victor's voice was ice. He just made you a missing person, which means the FBI gets involved, which means every bounty hunter and amateur detective in New York is going to be looking for you. Can't we just go to the police, tell them the truth? The truth is you're staying in my house after men shot at us. How do you think that's going to look? Victor ran his hand through his hair. Martin's smart. He's turning you into a victim. Makes it impossible for me to protect you without looking guilty. So what do we do? Victor's expression hardened. We go on the offensive. What does that mean? It means tomorrow you're going to walk into a police station and tell them exactly what happened. No lawyers, no spin, just the truth. Victor, that's the only play we have left. He cupped her face. You're going to tell them Martin's men shot at us, that you're here voluntarily, that you're scared of the Carmichael family, not me. They're not going to believe me. They will if you're honest, if you show them you're not some damsel in distress but a woman making her own choices. Victor's eyes held hers. Can you do that? Lily's heart hammered. Yes, it's going to get ugly. The press will tear you apart. Your family will call you a liar. Martin's lawyers will destroy your credibility. I don't care. You should care. But I don't. Lily's voice was steady. I'm done running. I'm done hiding. If we're doing this, we're doing it together. Victor kissed her forehead. You're either the bravest woman I've ever met or the stupidest. You said both. I was right. But there was something like pride in his voice. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be hell. Where will you be? Making calls, preparing for war. Victor's expression was grim. Martin just made this personal. He's going to regret that. Lily wanted to argue, to tell him violence wasn't the answer, but she was too tired, too overwhelmed, too far past the point of no return. She found the guest room Tony had mentioned, collapsed onto the bed fully clothed, closed her eyes and tried not to think about the fact that she was now a missing person, that half of New York was looking for her, that tomorrow she'd have to face the police and her family and the truth about who she'd become in the last 36 hours. Somewhere in the house, she heard Victor's voice, low-controlled, deadly, making promises she didn't want to understand. Lily pulled the blanket over her head and let herself fall into restless sleep, dreaming of gunshots and blood, and Victor's eyes burning into hers like he could see straight through to her soul. Lily woke to the smell of coffee and the sound of voices arguing in Italian. She sat up disoriented, her body aching from sleeping in her clothes. Sunlight streamed through unfamiliar windows. The door opened. Victor stood there dressed in fresh clothes, his shoulder bandaged, but his expression alert. "You're awake. Good. We need to leave in 20 minutes. "Leave for where?" "The police station. We're getting ahead of this before Martin controls the narrative." Victor handed her a mug of coffee. "There are clothes in the closet. They'll fit well enough." "Whose clothes?" "Does it matter?" His tone was clipped. "Get dressed. Tony's already called our lawyer. She'll meet us there." "I thought what you said, no lawyers." "I said you'd tell the truth. Doesn't mean that you should do it without legal protection." Victor checked his watch. 18 minutes now. He left. Lily drank the coffee too fast, scalding her tongue. Found the closet filled with women's clothing in her size. Jeans, sweaters, even underwear still in packages. Her stomach twisted. "Victor." He appeared in the doorway. "What? Whose clothes are these?" "No one's. I had them delivered last night while you were sleeping." "You bought me an entire wardrobe while I was asleep." "I bought you clothes so you wouldn't have to wear the same outfit to a police station that you wore while getting shot at." "There's a difference." Victor's expression was unreadable. 15 minutes, Lily. She dressed in jeans and a navy sweater, pulled her hair into a ponytail, looked at herself in the mirror, and barely recognized the woman staring back. 2 days ago, she'd been invisible. Now she was a missing person, the center of a media storm, about to walk into a police station and tell the truth about the most dangerous man in New York. "You ready?" Victor stood in the doorway. "No." "Good. Fear keeps you sharp." He held out his hand. "Let's go." The drive back to the city was tense. Tony drove while Victor made call after call, his voice never rising above conversational, but the underlying steel unmistakable. "I don't care what the DA wants," he said into the phone. "Lily Bennett is walking into that station voluntarily. She's not a victim. She's not a hostage. She's a witness to an attempted murder by Martin Carmichael's security team." He paused. "Yes, I'm aware of the optics. That's why we're controlling them." He hung up, looked at Lily. "When we get there, there will be press, cameras, reporters shouting questions." His voice was steady. "Don't answer them. Don't look at them. Just keep your head up and walk straight in." "What if I freeze?" "You won't. You're stronger than you think." Victor's hand found hers. "I'll be right behind you. They're not going to let you in. I know, but you'll see me through the window. That's enough." The police station appeared too quickly. Lily's stomach lurched at the sight of the cameras, the reporters, the chaos. "I can't do this," she whispered. "Yes, you can." Victor squeezed her hand. "Tell them the truth. All of it. Don't protect me. Don't soften anything. Just be honest." "What if they arrest you?" "Then they arrest me. I've been arrested before. I'll survive." His eyes held hers. "But you need to be safe. That's all that matters." The car stopped. Tony opened the door. The noise hit Lily like a physical force. "Lily. Lily Bennett, are you being held against your will? Is Victor Romano forcing you to lie? Did he kidnap you?" Lily stepped out of the car, her legs shaking. Victor's hand touched her back briefly, grounding, steadying. "Straight ahead," he murmured. "Don't stop." Lily walked through the gauntlet of cameras and microphones, her heart hammering so hard she thought it might explode. The station doors loomed ahead. A woman in a sharp suit waited just inside. "Lily Bennett, I'm Rachel Hoffman, your attorney." She extended her hand. "Let's get you somewhere quiet." Lily glanced back. Victor stood on the steps, surrounded by reporters, his expression carved from stone. He nodded once, then the doors closed between them. Rachel led her through a maze of corridors to a small interview room. 2 detectives waited inside a woman in her 40s with kind eyes and a man who looked like he'd seen everything and believed nothing. "Ms. Bennett, I'm Detective Sarah Walsh. This is Detective Marcus Chen." The woman gestured to a chair. "We need to ask you some questions about your relationship with Victor Romano." "I understand." "Before we begin, I need to make sure you're here voluntarily. Are you being coerced in any way?" "No, I came here because I want to tell you what happened." Rachel leaned forward. "My client is here to provide a voluntary statement regarding the events of last night. She's not under arrest and is free to leave at any time. Detective Chen opened a folder. Mrs. Bennett Martin Carmichael claims you're being held hostage by Victor Romano. Is that true? No, I'm staying with Victor because Martin Carmichael's security team shot at us. Both detectives straightened. Someone shot at you. Detective Walsh's voice sharpened. When? Last night around 10 p.m. We were driving to Victor's house in Cold Spring when a black SUV followed us. When we stopped, they opened fire. Can you identify the shooters? No, it was dark, but Victor said they were Martin's people. Detective Chen wrote something down. And you believe him? I saw the muzzle flashes. I heard the bullets. Victor got hit in the shoulder. Lily's voice was steady. I know what I saw. Where is this alleged injury? He was treated by a private doctor. Tony Victor's driver has the medical records. How convenient. Chen's tone was skeptical. No hospital, no official record. We couldn't go to a hospital. Martin had already gone to the press claiming I was kidnapped. If we showed up at an ER, it would have looked like Victor was forcing me to get treatment. Lily met his eyes. I'm not stupid, detective. I know how this looks, but I'm telling you the truth. See, Detective Walsh studied her. Walk me through everything from the beginning. How did you meet Victor Romano? Lily told them. All of it. The engagement party, the champagne, the dance, Sarah's cruelty, Victor's protection. She told them about the threats from Marco Carmichael, the warehouse meeting, the blackmail evidence. She didn't soften anything, didn't try to make Victor look innocent. He's not a good man, she said. He's done things I don't agree with, but he's never lied to me, and he didn't kidnap me. Then why did Martin Carmichael say he did? Because Victor threatened his family's business interests. Martin's son Bradley is engaged to my cousin. Victor was going to pull his investment from Bradley's company because of how my cousin treated me. Lily's hands fisted in her lap. Martin's protecting his son. I'm just collateral damage. Detective Chen leaned back. That's quite a story. It's the truth. The truth is Victor Romano is a known criminal with ties to organized crime. The truth is you've been seen with him multiple times in the last 48 hours. The truth is a powerful family claims you're being manipulated. The truth is Martin Carmichael's men shot at us and you're sitting here questioning me instead of investigating them. Lily's voice rose. I came here voluntarily. I'm telling you what happened. If you don't believe me, that's your problem. But I'm not going to sit here and be called a liar because it's easier than going after a man with money and connections. Detective Walsh held up a hand. Ms. Bennett, no one's calling you a liar. We're trying to establish facts. Then establish this fact I'm here of my own free will. I'm not being held hostage. I'm not being manipulated. I'm a grown woman making my own choices, and those choices include trusting Victor Romano more than I trust my own family. Why, Dago? Detective Chen asked. What makes you trust a criminal over your family? Because my family has spent 28 years making me feel worthless. Victor spent 2 days making me feel seen. Lily's voice cracked. Maybe that makes me naive. Maybe it makes me stupid. But it's my choice to make. The room fell silent. Rachel touched Lily's arm gently. Detective Walsh exchanged a glance with her partner. We need to investigate the shooting. That's a serious allegation. Victor has the bullet casings. Tony photographed the scene. The car has bullet holes in the back window. Lily pulled out her phone. I have pictures too. I took them this morning. She showed them the photos, the shattered glass, the bullet holes, Victor's blood-stained shirt. Detective Walsh's expression shifted. We'll need to examine the vehicle. Tony can bring it in. We'll also need to speak with Mr. Romano. He's waiting outside. He's here. Detective Chen stood. Why didn't you say so? Because I wanted you to hear my statement first, without him in the room. So you'd know I'm not being coached or controlled. Lily met their eyes. I want you to investigate Martin Carmichael. I want you to find out who shot at us. And I want you to stop treating me like a victim who doesn't know her own mind. Detective Walsh stood. Wait here. She left the room. Chen stayed, his expression unreadable. Rachel checked her phone, typed something quickly. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Lily's nerves stretched tighter with every second. The door opened. Detective Walsh returned with Victor. His eyes found Lily's immediately. You okay? I'm fine. Did they? I told them everything. Lily's voice was steady. The truth, all of it. Something shifted in Victor's expression. Pride, maybe, or relief. Mr. Romano, Detective Walsh said, we need to see your injury. Victor unbuttoned his shirt without hesitation, revealing the bandage on his shoulder. The detective examined it, took photos, made notes. This is consistent with a grazing gunshot wound, she said. We'll need the medical records. Tony has them. We'll also need the vehicle and any physical evidence from the scene. Done. Anything else? Yes. Detective Chen crossed his arms. Where were you planning to take Ms. Bennett after this? Back to my house in Cold Spring, where she'll be safe. Safe from who? From Martin Carmichael and anyone else who wants to use her to get to me. And what makes you think she needs your protection? The fact that someone shot at us last night. The fact that Martin put a $500,000 bounty on information about her whereabouts. The fact that she's now a target because of me. Victor's voice was flat. I created this situation. I'll handle it. By hiding her away. By keeping her alive until you do your job and arrest the people who tried to kill us. The tension in the room ratcheted up. Detective Walsh stepped between them. Mr. Romano, we appreciate your cooperation, but Miss Bennett is free to make her own choices about where she stays. I'm staying with Victor. Lily stood. Until this is resolved, that's my choice. You understand the optics. I understand that someone tried to kill me last night, and Victor's house has better security than my walk-up in Brooklyn. Lily's voice was firm. I'm choosing safety over optics. Rachel gathered her files. Unless you're charging my clients with something, we're done here. Detective Walsh hesitated. We'll be in touch. Don't leave the state. Wouldn't dream of it. Victor buttoned his shirt. Come on, Lily. They walked out together. The press was still waiting, cameras flashing, voices shouting questions. Victor's hand found the small of Lily's back. Head up, he murmured. Let them see you're not afraid. Lily lifted her chin and walked through the chaos like she owned it. The car was waiting. Tony held the door open. They climbed inside. The door closed. The noise cut off. Lily started shaking. You did good, Victor said quietly. I don't feel good. I feel like I'm going to throw up. That's the adrenaline crash. It'll pass. He pulled her against him. You were incredible in there. I told them you're a criminal. You told them the truth. That's what I asked for. Your lawyer looked like she wanted to murder me. Rachel always looks like that. It's her job. Victor's hand rubbed circles on her back. The important thing is, you established you're here voluntarily. That undermines Martin's entire narrative. What happens now? Now we wait. The police will investigate. The press will speculate. Martin will make more moves. Victor's voice hardened, and I'll be ready for all of it. Victor, I know what you're going to say, that this is too much, that you didn't sign up for this. His arms tightened around her. And you're right, you didn't. So if you want out, I'll understand. Lily pulled back to look at him. Do you want me out? No, but what I want doesn't matter. This is your life we're gambling with. It's my life to gamble. Lily, stop trying to make decisions for me. I'm here. I chose this. I chose you. Her voice was fierce. So stop giving me exits and start trusting that I know what I'm doing. Victor stared at her. You're insane. You keep saying that because it keeps being true. But he kissed her, hard and desperate. Don't say I didn't warn you. Consider me warned. The car pulled up to Victor's penthouse. They rode the elevator in silence, the weight of everything that had happened pressing down on them. Inside, Victor's phone immediately started ringing. He silenced it. I need to make some calls. Strategy with Rachel, updates from my people. He cupped Lily's face. Will you be okay for a few hours? I'm not made of glass. I know, but you've been through hell in the last 24 hours. You're allowed to not be okay. I'll let you know when I'm not okay. Lily managed a smile. Go, do your crime boss thing. I'm not a crime boss. What are you then? Victor's expression was unreadable. I honestly don't know anymore. He disappeared into his office. Lily stood alone in the massive living room, the city spreading out below her like a glittering threat. Her phone buzzed. She turned it back on in the car. 37 missed calls, 62 texts. Her voicemail was full. She scrolled through the messages. Her mother, Sarah, people from work numbers she didn't recognize. all demanding answers, hurling accusations, asking if she was okay. One message caught her eye, from an unknown number sent 3 hours ago. Unknown, you have no idea what you've done. This doesn't end well for girls like you. Lily's blood went cold. She screenshot the message, walked to Victor's office. The door was open. Victor stood at the window phone pressed to his ear, his voice low and lethal. I don't care what it costs. I want to know everyone Martin talked to in the last 48 hours. Every call, every meeting, he saw Lily. I'll call you back. Someone texted me. She showed him her phone. Victor's expression went deadly still. When 3 hours ago, while we were at the police station. Number unknown. Victor took her phone, forwarded the message to himself. I'll trace it. Is it from Martin? Probably one of his people, trying to scare you into backing down. Victor's jaw tightened. It won't work. How do you know? Because if they wanted you hurt, they wouldn't warn you first. This is intimidation, not a real threat. It feels pretty real to me. I know. Victor pulled her close. I'm going to fix this. You keep saying that. Because I mean it. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, cursed. I need to take this. It's my contact at the FBI. The FBI. Martin going public means federal agencies get involved, especially given my history. Victor answered the phone, his voice shifting to carefully neutral. Jimani Morrison, what can I do for you? Lily couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, but she watched Victor's expression darken with every passing second. I see. And when did this decision get made? A pause. No, I understand. I'll make sure she's available. Another pause. Tomorrow at 10. We'll be there. He hung up, his knuckles white. What happened? The FBI wants to interview you independently, without me or Rachel present. Lily's stomach dropped. Why? Because Martin filed a federal complaint claiming I'm involved in racketeering, kidnapping, and witness intimidation. Victor's voice was ice. They're building a case. Against you. Against both of us. They think you're either a victim or an accomplice. His eyes met hers. Tomorrow they're going to try to figure out which. Can they arrest me? Not unless they have evidence you've committed a crime. But they can make your life hell trying to prove you're lying to protect me. Lily sank onto the couch. This is really happening. Yes. The FBI thinks I'm a criminal. They think you're connected to one. There's a difference. Victor sat beside her. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell them exactly what you told the police. The truth, no embellishment, no protection for me, just facts. And if they don't believe me, then we deal with that when it happens. Victor took her hand. But Lily, if this gets too much, if you need out, there's still time. I can have you on a plane to anywhere in the world by midnight. New identity, clean start, completely protected. You'd let me run. I'd help you run if it meant you were safe. Lily looked at their joined hands. What about you? I'll deal with Martin, handle the FBI, make sure you're not connected to any of this. By taking the fall yourself. I've been taking falls my entire life. I'm good at it. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. That's reality. Victor's voice was gentle. I'm giving you a choice, Lily. Stay and fight this with me, knowing it might destroy your life. Or walk away now while you still can. Lily was quiet for a long moment. Outside, the city glittered in the gathering dusk. Somewhere out there, Martin Carmichael was planning his next move. The FBI was building their case. Her family was probably celebrating her downfall. I'm not running, she said finally. Lily, I said I'm not running. She looked at him. You asked me earlier what I want. I want to stop being afraid. I want to stop letting other people make me feel small. Her voice broke. I want to matter. And I matter to you. That's worth fighting for. Victor pulled her into his arms. You're going to regret this. Probably, but not today. They sat there as darkness fell, holding on to each other like they were the last solid thing in a world that had tilted sideways. Victor's phone rang again and again, each call bringing new problems, new threats, new complications. But for those few minutes, they had each other, and somehow that was enough. Tony appeared in the doorway. Boss, we have a situation. Victor's arms tightened around Lily. What now? Sarah Bennett just went on television. She's claiming Lily called her this morning begging to be rescued. Lily jerked upright. That's a lie. I know, but it's all over the news. Tony's expression was grim. She's crying, saying she's terrified for her cousin. It's very convincing. That manipulative, Lily's hands balled into fists. I haven't talked to Sarah since the night of the party. Doesn't matter, the narrative is already spreading. Victor stood, his mind clearly racing. Rachel needs to issue a statement immediately. Lily's phone records will prove she's lying. Already on it. Tony held up his phone. Rachel's drafting something now. Good. Victor turned to Lily. You're going to have to make a public statement. Soon, before Sarah's version becomes accepted truth. A public statement, like on camera. Yes, brief, direct, in your own words. Victor's expression was serious. Tell people you're fine, that you're staying with me voluntarily, that your family is lying. I can't just call my family liars on television. Why not? They're doing it to you. Because they're still my family. Family that's trying to destroy you to protect their own interests. Victor's voice hardened. You need to choose Lily. Them or the truth. You can't have both. Lily felt something crack inside her chest. I choose the truth. Then we do this now, before the FBI interview, before Martin makes another move. Victor was already moving, phone in hand. I'll call the producer at Channel 7. They'll jump at an exclusive interview. Victor, I'm not ready. You're never going to be ready, but you're strong enough to do it anyway. He cupped her face. I'll be right there with you. Off camera, but there. You won't be alone. Lily nodded, her throat tight. Okay, let's do it. Within 2 hours, a camera crew was set up in Victor's penthouse. A reporter named Jennifer Marks sat across from Lily, her expression professionally sympathetic. We're live in 3, someone called. Victor stood just off camera, his presence grounding. Lily took a deep breath. 2, 1. The red light came on. I'm here with Lily Bennett, Jennifer began. The young woman at the center of a developing story involving allegations of kidnapping and threats. Lily, thank you for speaking with us. Thank you for having me. Lily's voice was steadier than she felt. Let's address this directly. Are you being held against your will by Victor Romano? No, I'm here voluntarily. Your cousin Sarah appeared on television earlier claiming you called her begging to be rescued. Is that true? No, I haven't spoken to Sarah since the night of her engagement party. Can you prove that? My phone records will show I haven't called her. I'll release them to the public if I have to. Lily met the camera's eye. My cousin is lying. I don't know why, but she is. Jennifer leaned forward. That's a serious accusation. It's the truth. Sarah and my family have spent my entire life making me feel invisible. The moment I stepped outside the role they wanted me to play, they decided I must be coerced or manipulated, because in their minds, I couldn't possibly choose a life they don't approve of. And you have chosen this. I've chosen to stay with someone who sees me as a person instead of a disappointment. Lily's voice grew stronger. I've chosen to stand up for myself instead of apologizing for existing. If that makes me a scandal, so be it. Victor Romano has alleged ties to organized crime. I'm aware of who he is and what he's been accused of. I'm not naive. Lily looked directly at the camera. But I'm also not a victim. I'm a 28-year-old woman making my own choices, and I'm asking everyone watching to respect that instead of assuming I'm too stupid to know my own mind. The interview continued for another 10 minutes. When it ended, Lily felt wrung out, exhausted, and strangely free. You were perfect, Victor said quietly. I just called my entire family liars on live television. You told the truth. There's a difference. He pulled her close. Now we wait and see how they respond. They didn't have to wait long. Within an hour, Lily's mother called. Lily let it go to voicemail, then listened to the message on speaker. How dare you? Her mother's voice shook with rage. How dare you humiliate this family on national television? You're an embarrassment, Lily. An ungrateful, selfish embarrassment. Don't bother coming home. You're not welcome here anymore. The message ended. Lily stared at the phone. I'm sorry, Victor said. Don't be. Lily's voice was hollow. She finally said what she's been thinking my entire life. At least now it's honest. Victor pulled her into his arms. Lily let herself break just for a moment, crying into his shoulder, for the family she'd lost and the girl she used to be who would have apologized her way back into their good graces. But that girl was gone, and Lily wasn't sure she missed her. The FBI interview room smelled like stale coffee and recycled air. Lily sat across from Agent Morrison, a woman in her 50s with steel gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. "Thank you for coming in, Ms. Bennett." Agent Morrison's voice was professionally neutral. "I want to be clear, you're not under arrest. This is a voluntary interview." "I understand. You can leave at any time. You have the right to have an attorney present." "I know, but I have nothing to hide." Agent Morrison opened a file. "Let's start with how you met Victor Romano." Lily told the story again. The engagement party, the champagne, the dance. She told it so many times in the last 3 days, it felt like someone else's memory. "And you're claiming this relationship is voluntary." Agent Morrison's tone was carefully neutral. "I'm not claiming anything. It is voluntary." Ms. Bennett, Victor Romano is under investigation for racketeering, money laundering, and connections to organized crime. You understand that associating with him puts you at considerable legal risk. "I understand that you're investigating him. That doesn't make him guilty. It doesn't make him innocent either." Agent Morrison leaned forward. "Here's what I think. I think you're a nice girl from Brooklyn who got in over her head. I think Victor Romano saw an opportunity, someone vulnerable, someone he could use to humanize himself. That's not what happened." "Then what did happen?" "Because from where I'm sitting, a powerful man with significant legal troubles suddenly develops a relationship with an accountant who has no criminal record, no connections, nothing that would typically attract someone of his status." Agent Morrison's eyes hardened. "That looks like manipulation, Ms. Bennett. It looks like he's using you." "Or maybe he just likes me." Lily's voice was steady. "Not everything is a conspiracy. In Victor Romano's world, everything is calculated. He doesn't make moves without a reason." "Then maybe the reason is that I treat him like a person instead of a case file." Agent Morrison was quiet for a moment. "Do you know what happened to the last woman who got close to Victor Romano?" Lily's stomach tightened. "Elena. She moved to California. After Victor Romano destroyed her career, ruined her reputation, and made sure she'd never work as a journalist again." Agent Morrison slid a photo across the table. "This is Elena Russo. She was investigating human trafficking networks. Got too close to people Victor worked with. He ended their relationship by leaking false information about her sources, getting her fired, and blacklisting her from every major publication in the country." Lily stared at the photo. Elena was beautiful, dark hair, fierce eyes, the kind of woman who looked like she could take on the world. "He told me he broke up with her to protect her." "Is that what he said?" Agent Morrison's laugh was bitter. "Ms. Bennett, Victor Romano doesn't protect people. He controls them. And when they stop being useful, he destroys them. You're wrong about him. Or are you just the latest person he's convinced that he's something other than what he is?" Lily's hands fisted in her lap. "I know what he is. He's told me everything his father, his business, the things he's done. He's never lied to me. That you know of." "What does that mean?" Agent Morrison pulled out another file. 3 days ago, Victor Romano met with Marco Carmichael in a warehouse in Red Hook. According to our sources, Marco left that meeting terrified. He immediately withdrew all complaints against you, cut ties with his cousin Bradley, and is now considering leaving the country. She looked at Lily. "Did Victor tell you what happened in that warehouse?" "He said they showed Marco evidence of his crimes, gave him a choice, leave me alone or face federal prosecution. That's what he told you." "Here's what actually happened." Agent Morrison opened the file. "Our informant says Victor showed Marco photos, not of tax documents or offshore accounts. Photos of Marco's younger sister, with timestamps, locations, her daily routine, her favorite coffee shop, the route she jogs every morning." Agent Morrison's voice went cold. "He threatened a 22-year-old college student to get Marco to back down." Lily felt the room tilt. "No, Victor wouldn't." "Wouldn't he? You've known him for 3 days, Ms. Bennett. We've been tracking him for 5 years. We know exactly what he's capable of. If you know so much, why haven't you arrested him? Because he's careful, because he has lawyers and connections, and enough legitimate business to muddy the waters." Agent Morrison leaned forward. "But you could change that. You could help us build a case that actually sticks." Lily's blood went cold. "You want me to inform on him?" I want you to tell the truth about what you've seen, what he's said, who he's met with. The real Victor Romano, not the version he's showing you. I don't know anything. You know where he lives, where he goes, who he talks to. That's more than we've had in years. Agent Morrison's voice softened. You seem like a smart woman, Lily. Smart enough to know this doesn't end well. Victor Romano's world is built on violence and threats. Eventually that violence is going to touch you. And when it does, we might not be able to protect you. I'm not asking for your protection. Then you're a fool. Agent Morrison closed the files. But you're not a criminal, not yet. So I'm going to give you some advice. Walk away, today, now, before you become so entangled in his world that we have no choice but to come after you too. And if I don't, then next time we meet, it won't be voluntary. The interview ended. Lily walked out on shaking legs to find Victor waiting in the lobby, his expression unreadable. You okay? He asked. I need you to be honest with me. Lily's voice was tight. About Elena. Victor's expression went carefully blank. What about her? The FBI says you didn't protect her. They say you destroyed her career to keep her from investigating your connections. That's their version. Then what's your version? Victor looked around the crowded FBI building. Not here. Let's go. They walked to the car in silence. Tony drove them back to the penthouse. Lily stared out the window, her mind racing. Inside, Victor poured 2 glasses of whiskey, handed her one. Elena was investigating a trafficking ring, he said quietly. The people running it had connections to my father's old associates. When she started asking questions, they noticed. They threatened her, told her to stop or they'd make her disappear. And what did you do? I tried to get her to drop it, told her it was too dangerous. She refused, said the story was too important. Victor's jaw tightened. So I gave her a choice. Stop investigating and I'd protect her. Keep going, and I couldn't help her anymore. She kept going. She kept going. And 2 weeks later, someone broke into her apartment, left a message carved into her kitchen table. Next time we carve you. Victor's voice was flat. So I did what I had to do. I got her fired, destroyed her reputation, made sure she'd never be taken seriously as a journalist again. Then I paid for her to move to California, set her up with enough money to start over, and made it clear that if she ever came back to New York or tried to investigate that story again, I wouldn't save her a second time. You ruined her life to save it. Yes, that's horrible. That's survival in my world. You make impossible choices between bad options and worse ones. Victor met her eyes. And before you ask, yes, I threatened Marco's sister, not to hurt her, to make sure Marco understood that everyone he loves is vulnerable if he comes after you again. That's how this works, Lily. You protect the people you care about by making sure your enemies know the cost of touching them. Lily set down her glass. The FBI wants me to inform on you. Victor didn't react. What did you tell them? Nothing. I told them nothing. But you're thinking about it. No, I'm thinking about whether I really know you at all. Because the man you're describing, the one who threatens innocent people and destroys careers, that's not the person I thought I was falling for. I never pretended to be someone I'm not. No, you just conveniently left out the parts that would make me run. Lily's voice rose. Elena's sister, Marco's sister. How many other people have you threatened? How many lives have you ruined? Dozens. Hundreds probably if you count indirect consequences. Victor's voice was brutally honest. I've done terrible things to terrible people, and sometimes to innocent ones who got in the way. That's who I am. That's what I do. And if you're looking for me to apologize or promise I'll change, you're going to be disappointed. Then what are we doing here? I don't know. Victor's control cracked. I don't know what this is or how to do it without destroying you in the process. I just know that for the first time in 15 years, I met someone who makes me want to try mine. Try what? Being something other than what my father made me. Being the person Elena used to tell me I could be if I just walked away. His voice roughened. But I can't walk away, Lily. This is my life. This is who I am. And if you can't accept that all of it, not just the parts you like, then maybe the FBI is right. Maybe you should walk away while you still can. Lily's throat tightened. Is that what you want? What I want doesn't matter. What matters is keeping you safe. And I'm starting to realize that the most dangerous thing in your life is me. Don't do that. Don't make this decision for me. Someone has to make the smart choice. I don't want the smart choice. I want you. The words tumbled out before Lily could stop them. I want the impossible, complicated mess of you, the parts that protect me and the parts that terrify me. I want all of it. Victor stared at her. You're insane. You keep saying that like it'll change my mind. Lily crossed to him. I'm not Elena. I'm not going to investigate you or try to change you or expect you to be someone you're not. I'm just asking you to be honest with me. Always, no matter how ugly the truth is. The truth is I'll probably destroy you. Then destroy me, but stop trying to push me away to protect me from yourself. Lily grabbed his shirt. I'm choosing this. I'm choosing you. Stop taking that choice away from me. Victor pulled her close, kissed her hard. This is a mistake. Good. I'm tired of making safe choices. His phone rang. Victor ignored it. It rang again and again. Answer it, Lily said against his mouth. Victor grabbed his phone, his expression darkening as he listened. When? How many? A pause. I'm on my way. He hung up his face carved from stone. What happened? Martin Carmichael just held another press conference. He's claiming I threatened his entire family. That he has proof I'm running a criminal enterprise. Victor's voice was ice. And he's filed a lawsuit against me for emotional distress, defamation, and attempted murder. Can he do that? He can file anything he wants. Doesn't mean he'll win. Victor was already moving, grabbing his jacket, but it means this just went from personal to public. Every detail of my life is about to be dragged into court, including me, especially you. You're the centerpiece of his narrative, the innocent woman I manipulated and corrupted. Victor's jaw tightened. I need to meet with my lawyers, figure out our strategy. Our strategy. You're part of this now, whether we like it or not. Martin made sure of that. Victor cupped her face. Stay here. Don't answer the door. Don't talk to anyone. I'll be back in a few hours. Victor, please, Lily, just this once, let me protect you without arguing. She nodded. Victor kissed her forehead and left. Lily stood alone in the massive penthouse, the city glittering below her like a beautiful lie. She pulled out her phone, scrolled through the messages she'd been ignoring. One caught her eye. From a number she didn't recognize sent an hour ago. Known, you want the truth about Victor. Meet me at the corner of Broadway and Spring in 1 hour. Come alone. I'm risking everything to tell you this. Lily stared at the message. Every instinct screamed trap. But what if it wasn't? What if someone really did have information Victor wasn't telling her? She checked the time. 45 minutes left. Lily grabbed her coat. The corner of Broadway and Spring was crowded with tourists and street vendors. Lily stood near a coffee cart, her heart hammering, scanning faces for anyone who looked like they were waiting. Lily Bennett, she turned. A woman in her 30s stood there, dark hair pulled back, eyes nervous. I'm Lily. I'm Sophie. I worked for Victor's father. Sophie glanced around nervously. We need to walk. Too many cameras here. They walked down Spring Street, Sophie keeping her voice low. I left the organization 5 years ago when Victor took over. I thought he'd be different from his father. He wasn't. Why are you telling me this? Because I've watched Victor destroy 3 women in the time I've known him. I won't watch him destroy a 4th. Sophie stopped, faced her. The story about Elena? It's true, but not the version he told you. Elena didn't refuse to drop the investigation. She wanted to. She was terrified. But Victor wouldn't let her. Lily's blood went cold. I'm in. What are you going? He needed her to keep investigating, to draw out the people running the trafficking thing so he could eliminate them and take over their territory. Sophie's voice shook. He used her as bait, and when things got too dangerous, when she begged him to let her stop, he told her she'd gone too far, that the only way out was to disappear completely. No, Victor wouldn't. He would. He did. And he'll do it to you too if you let him. Sophie pulled out an envelope. This is everything. Phone records, emails, proof that Victor orchestrated the entire thing, that he used Elena and then discarded her when she was no longer useful. Lily took the envelope with shaking hands. There's more, Sophie said. The shooting the other night, the one where Victor got grazed, that wasn't Martin's people, that was Victor's. He staged the whole thing to make you dependent on him. To make you think you needed his protection. You're lying. I checked the ballistics report. The bullets came from guns Victor's people use. Check the hospital records, there are none because Victor was never actually injured. It was all theater. Sophie's eyes were desperate. Please, Lily, get out while you still can, before he traps you the way he trapped Elena, the way he's trapped everyone who's ever gotten close to him. Lily's mind raced. If this is true, why not go to the FBI? Because Victor owns people in the FBI. People who warn him when investigations get too close. I'd be dead before I made it to the building. Sophie backed away. I've risked everything telling you this. What you do with it is your choice, but don't say you weren't warned. She disappeared into the crowd. Lily stood frozen, the envelope burning in her hands. She should go back to the penthouse. Should confront Victor. Should her phone ring. Victor. Where are you? His voice was sharp. I went for a walk. I told you to stay inside. I needed air. Lily, this isn't a game. Martin has people looking for you. It's not safe. I met with Sophie. Silence. Then, where are you right now? Spring Street. She gave me an envelope. Said she has proof you've been lying to me. Don't open it. Don't look at whatever's inside. Just tell me exactly where you are. Why? So you can send someone to clean up your mess. So I can make sure you're safe. Sophie doesn't work alone. If she approached you, it's a setup. A setup for what? To turn you against me, to make you vulnerable. Lily, please just tell me where. An SUV screeched to a stop beside her. The door flew open. Hands grabbed Lily, dragged her inside. Her phone clattered to the sidewalk. The last thing she heard before the door slammed was Victor's voice screaming her name. The SUV drove for what felt like hours but was probably minutes. Lily's hands were zip-tied a hood over her head. She couldn't see, couldn't breathe properly, couldn't think past the panic. The car stopped. Someone pulled her out, marched her forward. She heard a door open, felt the temperature drop. A warehouse maybe, or a basement. The hood came off. Lily blinked in the harsh fluorescent light. Martin Carmichael stood in front of her, his expression cold. Hello, Ms. Bennett. I think it's time we had a conversation about your boyfriend. Lily's heart hammered. Let me go. I will, as soon as you do something for me. Martin gestured to a table. On it sat a phone, a camera, and a stack of papers. You're going to make a statement. You're going to tell the world that Victor Romano kidnapped you, threatened you, and forced you to lie to the police. I'm not doing that. Yes, you are. Because if you don't, I'm going to release these. Martin held up a folder. Photos of your apartment, your mother's house, your best friend from college. What's her name? Michelle. She has 2 kids, doesn't she? Lovely family. Lily's blood turned to ice. You're threatening my family. I'm giving you a choice. Cooperate and everyone you care about stay safe. Refuse and I'll make sure Victor watches everyone he's ever touched pay the price for his sins. Martin's smile was terrifying. Starting with you. Victor will kill you for this. Victor will try, and then the FBI will arrest him for murder, and this whole mess will be over. Martin gestured to the camera. Now, let's begin. Lily looked at the camera, at Martin, at the impossible choice in front of her, and made a decision that would change everything. She looked directly into the camera. My name is Lily Bennett. 3 days ago, I met Victor Romano. Everything Martin Carmichael has told you is a lie. I'm here because I was kidnapped not by Victor, but by Martin himself. He's threatening my family to force me to lie about Victor. This is the truth. This is what's really happening. And if something happens to me, Martin lunged forward, grabbed her. The camera kept rolling. Then the door exploded inward. Victor stood in the doorway, his expression murderous. Tony and 3 other men behind him. Get away from her! Victor's voice could have cut steel. Martin pulled a gun, pressed it to Lily's head. One more step and she dies. Victor froze. Martin, think about what you're doing. I'm finishing this. You've ruined my family, destroyed my son's future, turned everyone against me. Martin's hand shook. You don't get to win. I don't want to win. I just want her safe. Then you should have stayed away from her. Everything happened at once. Martin's finger tightened on the trigger. Victor dove forward. A gunshot split the air. Lily felt the bullet pass so close to her head, she swore she felt the heat. Then she was on the ground, Victor's body covering hers, shielding her. More gunshots, shouting. the smell of gunpowder. When the chaos ended, Martin Carmichael lay on the ground bleeding from his shoulder. Tony stood over him, gun still raised. "It's over," Tony said. Victor pulled Lily up his hands, running over her, checking for injuries. "Are you hurt? Did he—" I'm okay. But she was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Victor looked at Tony. "I called them," Tony said. "Sent them the warehouse location and the video feed. They saw everything." "The video?" Lily's eyes widened. "The camera. It was still recording." Victor looked at the camera, still running, red light blinking. "Everything. Everything." Lily's voice was shaky. "Martin threatening my family. Him kidnapping me. All of it." For the first time since Lily had met him, Victor smiled, really smiled. "You brilliant, insane woman. You're rubbing off on me." Clearly. He pulled her close, kissed her hard. "Don't ever do that again." "Which part, getting kidnapped or recording of my kidnapper confessing everything?" "Both, all of it. My heart can't take it." The police burst in, guns drawn. Victor raised his hands slowly, Lily still pressed against him. "It's over," he called. "Martin Carmichael just confessed to kidnapping on camera. The footage is all there." Detective Walsh pushed through, her expression stunned. She looked at Martin, bleeding on the ground, at the camera, still recording, at Lily, safe in Victor's arms. "Someone explain to me what the hell happened here." Lily did, all of it. Sophie's setup, Martin's threats, the forced confession that backfired. When she finished, Detective Walsh was shaking her head. "You recorded your own kidnapper." It seemed like a good idea at the time. It was a good idea, an insane idea, but a good one. Detective Walsh looked at Victor. "You're free to go, both of you. We'll need formal statements, but..." She gestured to Martin being loaded onto a stretcher by paramedics. "I think we have everything we need." 1 week later, Lily stood in Victor's penthouse, watching the news coverage of Martin Carmichael's arraignment. Kidnapping, assault, witness tampering. The charges kept stacking up. "He's going to prison for 20 years minimum," Victor said quietly. "Good." Lily felt no sympathy. "He threatened my mother, Michelle's kids. He deserves everything he gets." The lawsuit's been dropped. Bradley called off his engagement to Sarah. Your cousin's apparently having a breakdown. "Also good." Lily turned to face him. "What happens now?" "Now," Victor pulled her close. "Now I have a choice to make. The FBI offered me a deal, full immunity if I testify against my father's old associates. Help them dismantle what's left of the organization." Lily's breath caught. "Would you do it?" "I'd be giving up everything my father built. Everything I've spent 15 years protecting." Victor's eyes met hers. "But I'd be free, really free, for the first time in my life." "What about your enemies, the people who'd come after you for cooperating?" "I'd have federal protection, a new identity if I wanted it, a chance to start over." "With me?" Victor cupped her face. "That depends. Are you willing to start over with a man who has no family, no empire, nothing but a questionable past and a dangerous set of skills?" Lily's throat tightened. "Are you willing to start over with a woman who has no job, no family who'll speak to her, and a tendency to record her own kidnappings?" "Brave or stupid?" "Both," Lily smiled. "Always both." Victor kissed her, soft and sweet and full of promise. When he pulled back, his expression was serious. "I can't promise you easy. I can't promise you safe. But I can promise you honest. I can promise you real. That's all I've ever wanted." "Then let's burn it all down and build something new." Victor's smile was fierce. "Together." "Together," Lily agreed. 3 months later, Victor Romano walked into FBI headquarters and told them everything. Every name, every location, every dirty secret his father's organization had buried for 40 years. 6 months after that, Lily Bennett stood in a small apartment in Seattle unpacking boxes while Victor, now going by the name Michael Grant, assembled furniture with Tony's help. "This is insane," Tony said, screwing in a table leg. "You went from running New York to building IKEA furniture." "It's not that different," Victor said. "Both require patience and a willingness to throw things when they don't work." Lily laughed from the kitchen. "I can hear you." "Good. Then you can hear me say this coffee maker is a war crime. I bought it for $12. What did you expect?" "Standards. I expected standards." But he was smiling. They were both smiling. Because for the first time in their lives, they were free. No empire, no threats, no impossible choices between bad options and worse ones. Just two people who'd found each other in the chaos and decided that honesty, however brutal, was worth more than safety. Lily walked into the living room, surveyed the half-assembled furniture, and the man she loved cursing at an instruction manual in Italian. "Hey," she said. Victor looked up. "Hey, yourself. I love you." "I know." His smile turned soft. "I love you too." "Good, because you're stuck with me now." "Brave or stupid?" "Both," Lily said, kissing him. "Always both." And somewhere in New York, Martin Carmichael sat in a prison cell. Sarah Bennett planned a wedding to a man who wasn't Bradley, and the tabloids moved on to the next scandal. But Lily Bennett and the man she chose, the dangerous, complicated, brutally honest man who'd seen her when she was invisible, they were just beginning. Not with a fairy tale ending, but with something better. The truth, and the courage to build a life on it.